Hello everybody, Lila's Gigi here and welcome to my channel. I am still sick, crazy sick since what, the 1st of January, and it's almost the end of the month. Ugh. Oh well, so trying to get over that. Anyway, today or tonight, since it's 10 o'clock here, I'm going to show you how to make the Grand Illusion bracelet by the looming artist. Tammy Renee Vaughn gets the name credit, it looks like. So if you are not following Andrea, go over to her channel. There we are, the looming artist, and give her a follow for me. Like her photos, she has some gorgeous designs on here, and I don't know how she does it, but she keeps cranking them out. Anyway, hop on over to Instagram to the Looming Artist channel and give her a follow for me. Okay, so this is a 5-pin bar design down in the center, up and up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay our border bands. I put a closure band first, and then we're going to go out to the right. Now you can bead these if you want. I chose not to, but you can. That looks a little, well, I'll try it. I was going to say that looked a little thin, but I think I'm going to try it anyway. Okay, so lay your border bands all the way up, and I think I said I was going to go 5. I'm going to go 6 down from the top. Now, I'm using LE, so this is probably going to be a little bit smaller than I want it, than other people might want it to be, because I like to use the magnetic clasps on here. So start here, drop your closure band out to the right, straight up, out to the left, straight up, and however far to the top you decide. I'm going to stop at 6, and then you will bring your bands in together, just up. It will be the exact opposite of this. All right, so go ahead and do that, and I will be back with you. Okay, so I am back, and I stopped right here at 6 pins from the top. Okay, so our next thing to do is long zigzags. So we're going to start here, and you're going to bring it out to the center, diagonal to the right. This pin will be between your band. That's fine, that's where it belongs. So from that center pin out to the left, long stretch, where you left off, to the center, long stretch, and then long stretch from the center to the end. And do that all the way up to the end of your loom. When you're done with that side, we're going to do the other side. Okay. 5th pin bar, first pin, diagonal to the left. From that center, we're going to do a long stretch diagonal to the right. From there, diagonal, long stretch to the center, and then a long stretch to the right. So do that all the way up to the end of your loom, and this is how it's going to look, but you will do zigzag on one side and then come back and do a zigzag on the other side, and I'll be back with mine. Okay, so I am back. I laid these zigzags on the left side, and then I went in and laid the zigzags on the right side, and this is what your loom should look like. Okay? All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to lay triangles. Now, I don't know if I told you what I was using. I'm using the black cylindric from the Yin and Yang pack. I'm going to be using the metallic silver. Okay, I'm going to use this up the center. And the reason why I'm using the thinner band is because I'm going to lay beads on that. Okay, for the triangles, I'm going to use the silk or pearl white. It's got a nice little sheen on it. Yeah, I'm going to use that for the triangles. So, oh, and I'm also, for the center, I'm going to be using the white pearl from the gold mint pack. It's a mixed pack with the white pearl and the gold mint. Can't get them by themselves anymore, I don't think. But that being said, let's go ahead and take care of these triangles. Now, normally you would lay a triangle like this, for this particular triangle, that is. And to make it easier, it's easier for me and quicker if I just lay them up the side here, like that, and then take my hook and just bring them up and over. It makes it so that the band is not quite so crooked. And I say that, and then I made it crooked. Oh, Sandy, Sandy. Oh well. And make sure that you push them down. So you want to do those triangles just like that, all the way up to the end of your loom. I'm going to go over to the right-hand side here. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to lay my triangles straight so that I can keep my bands relatively straight, so there's less straightening at the end. Okay, so I'm laying those straight up on that fourth pin bar, and I'm bringing them over to the outer peg. Okay, and that it just helps to keep your bands a little straighter. And when you're doing it, it's a little quicker as long as you're not on camera. Okay, make sure you push your bands down. Do those triangles all the way to the top, and I will be back with you when I'm finished with mine. So I finished my triangles up the side, both sides, and this is what your loom should look like. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to lay single bands up the center. Now, I'm going to, and I think I've got this figured out, I want my beads to be in a certain spot, and I am going to go ahead and bead this. So nothing there. So I'm going to go, every other one is going to have a bead on it up the center. So I'm hoping that this is going to work out right, because there is a, I don't know if I can show you. Let's see if I can bring that picture back up, because I want to show you exactly where I want to, I'm hoping that that bead is going to lay. So give me just a moment here. Gotta find it. Just a second. All right, now let's find that bracelet. Okay, look at this one. You see where this is right here? This is where I want to lay my bead. If I lay it in here, it's not going to be right, but I need to lay that bead right here. Okay, so that being said, I'm hoping I'm laying these right. So I'll find out when I'm done, huh? All right, so you do not have to put beads on this. You can bead every other one up the side if you want. It's very pretty. I just chose not to put anything up the side. Okay, so single bands all the way up to the end, and I will lay this one, and then I will be back with you when I finish laying my single bands, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I went ahead and laid it here. I figured it's okay. Sometimes I won't lay a bead, right here on the end, but that's all right. I laid my single chains all the way up the center. This is what your loom should look like. Okay. All right, so next what we're going to do is going to add some more bands to the center, and I'm going to use the pearl bands, I believe. I like to use the cylindric bands because, let's face it, nobody likes to straighten bands, so that's why I'm going to use them. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take and make inverted V's. Second pin bar, first pin, up to the center, and then from the center, diagonal down. Go up to the next one, up to the center, diagonal down to the right, up to the center, and diagonal down into the right. Okay? I was thinking about adding another color to this, but I think I'm going to keep it black and white with the silver up the center. All right, so do these inverted V's all the way up to the end of your loom, and then when you're finished with that, you'll come back down, second pin bar, second pin, and you'll do a regular, kind of a flat V, I guess you'd call it. So, second pin bar, second pin, diagonal to the center, from the center, diagonal up and to the right. You'll end up making a diamond. Okay, go up to the third one, down to the center, from the center diagonal up to the right. Okay, so rewind if you have to. Make sure you push all of your bands down, because I think that is it for the laying of the bands. Yes, so that is it for the laying of the bands. So do your inverted V all the way up to the end, come back and do your V all the way up, and I will be back when I finish mine. Okay, so I'm at the top of my loom, and the last thing I did was I laid these two bands right here. Okay, so let's flip this baby around, and we're going to lay some cap bands, and then we should be good to go. So you lay a cap band on 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to do a triple cap band. I'm going to just go ahead and use the black. I mean, you could use the white, but I'm going to go ahead and use the border color. Oops, sorry. So 1, 2, and 3, and then one more. So put those cap bands on 2, 3, and 4. I might have said 5. Oh gosh. Brains. I'll tell you, if I had them, I'd be dangerous. Okay. So now that we've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to reach in, and we're going to get this band that goes straight up. Okay? And let me just double check this to make sure I'm doing this correctly. That goes straight up, that way, and then those go to each other. Okay. So this is going to be your pattern. Going to reach in through, let's get a little bit closer maybe. I don't want to get too close. Going to go in through that cap band. In my case, it is a silver band, the band that is on top. You're going to grab the band that's on top and bring it straight up. Okay? Next one we're going to do is this diagonal band right here. But instead of looping it back to itself, it is going to go up to the one above it. Okay, I push those down. They look a little funny in there. Going to go in again, grab that diagonal that goes down, and instead of bringing it back to itself, you're going to loop it straight up, right up here, on the right side, above where you would loop it back. Okay, go back into that pin, bring this band back to itself. And the last one, white one, the diagonal will go back to itself. Okay, and push those down. And then you're going to go into that same pin and grab that single band that goes straight up. Okay, now normally I would have used a thicker band for this, so hopefully this is going to come out, but I wanted to use these little crosses, and the only way I could do that was to use a thinner band. All right, so we're going to go up, now that we've put that single one up there, going to go in and this diagonal down to the left. Instead of bringing it back, you're going to bring it up. Go in, grab the one that's on top, should be the diagonal that goes down to the right. You're going to bring that up. Okay, and then these two that are left, the two white ones that are left on here, are going to go back to themselves, like so. Oops. And then we're going to reach in and grab that single band, should be the next one on top, if I can get it, and it goes straight up. Just like that. I'll do that with you one more time. We are now on the fourth pin. Reach in, grab the diagonal that goes down to the left, and to bring it up and over, right up there. Next one on top, instead of bringing it back to itself, you're going to bring it to the pin above. And then these two diagonals that are left will go back to themselves. Oh, it needs to be pushed down more. Will go back to themselves. Okay, just like that. Then you'll reach in, grab the band that's on the bottom, and loop it straight up. Okay, rewind if you have to, and I will be back. Alrighty, so I finished this to the top of the loom. Last thing I did was I brought this band straight up. Okay, a little crooked, but that's okay. And this is what your loom should look like. Okay, and don't know if I told you or not, you could have put beads, every other one on the side, but I chose not to. All right, so, excuse me. I get something to drink. I'm still sick. Yummy. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this band. Okay, but what we need to do is we need to go in, second pin bar, second pin, and you need to push everything back until you get that band, which is right here. Okay? And you want to pull that band out. Be careful not to break anything. And bring it down over here and down over here. Okay? So that's how we're going to, it's a little crooked, trying to keep it as straight as possible. All right. Going to do the exact same thing up here. You're going to go to the third pin, second pin bar, move everything out of the way, and that's the band that should be on top. Grab it, give it a little pull, just gentle pull, and then bring it down and down, just like that. I'll do one more time with you. Oops, trying to go into that same pin. That's not going to work, is it? So pull this back, grab that band, give it a nice little tug. Oops, oh, geez, that's not going to work, is it? Make sure I get the right band. Oh, you know what I did? Don't do this. Do not go in here. You have to go in between everything except for that bottom band that's on your hook. Okay, and then reach. Oh, come on, Sandy. Reach over and grab it. Ugh. Okay. And you'll know you have it because it'll come out nice. Okay? And then hook it. I'll do that with you one more time. That didn't look very good. Now you've got this band over here. You're not going to go underneath that band. You're just going to go underneath until you can find it on top. Okay? And then give it a little pull. And you'll be able to tell if you've got it correctly because it should pull down just like that. Nice and neat. Okay? And I'm just doing it slow. I'm sorry. Let's back over to the other side. Fourth pin bar, second pin up. You're going to go in through whatever you can reach on here. Grab that band. Oh, not even talking right, am I? Grab that band. See how it pulled out nice and neat? And bring it down just like that. We'll go up to the third one because we need to get this one right here. Reach in, grab that band, give it a little bit of a tug, bring it down and down. I'll do that with you one more time. Go in through those bands. It should be the band that's on top. That's the one that you're getting. Bring it down and down. Okay, it's going to look like this, like a little knots or something. Anyway, go ahead and do that on both sides, and I will be back with you when I finish mine. Okay, so I have finished all of my triangles on both sides, and this is what it looks like. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we've got 2 more steps left, and I will show you both of them right now. Where we have our crosses in the center, where everything comes together here, you're going to go in and grab the top band and actually bring it over here and back to itself. So that long stretch is actually going to go back to itself. Okay, just like this. Ooh, come on. Trying to keep my hands out of the way. Okay, let's grab the next one. And it will go over that pin right there, the pin that's in the center between it. It will go over that, just like that. Okay, this is what that will look like. Okay, so that being said, let's go up and we'll do this one more time. So where they come together in the center, you'll take the one that's on top, give it a little bit of a stretch, and bring it back to the border. Next one that's on top will come back to the border. Grab the next one, should be the one that's diagonal down to the right, and then the one that goes up and to the right. Okay, so it will span from here across these two pins on all four corners. All right, do that all the way up to the end of your loom, and when you're done, come back, go into your cap band. We're going to do the border bands now. Give it a little bit of a tug and bring it back to itself. Now this one has a little bit on it, so it might be a little more difficult to get. I don't want to break it, so I'm going to use my fingers to pull it, okay, and bring it back to itself. So if you're doing your bands and you feel like it might break, like this one has a lot of, on there. This one has a lot of bands on it. I just want to make sure that this band that I'm bringing up does not break. So I use my fingers to pull it. This one does not have as many on, so it should be fine. And this one has a lot of bands on it, so I'm going to give it a little tug, pull it in there, and then just use my fingers to pull that. I'm not going to put the stress of this on this band. Okay, that all the way up to the end. Let's go over to the other side. I'm going to reach in, grab that cap band, in through the cap band, grab the border band. Now this one has a lot of bands on it, so I'm going to reach in, give it a slight tug. You can see how it changes color when I do that, right? So you don't want it to break. I'm going to hold my fingers and pull it with my fingers and attach it. Go in through everything on there, grabbing that bottom band, and it seemed a little snug, so I'm going to pull that also. Do I even have the right one? Yep, look at that. There it is. I still think I had the right one. It's just catching over here on the right hand side. So there we go. All right, so do your border bands. Well, do your center bands first, and then do your border bands, and I will be back with you when I'm done to take this off the loom. Alrighty, so I am back, and I have taken most of this off up to this point. Now, very carefully, when you take these off of here, be very careful, especially where the bands are thicker. You know, you've come this far, you do not want to break a band. Trust me. Nothing worse than breaking a band. Now, I'm not taking this off yet because I still have my closure band. So what I'm going to do before I get to the end of this is I'm going to reach in. I'm going to grab, well, if I can keep a hold of the one on the bottom, I'm going to reach in through all the bands and grab that closure band and bring it up just like that. Now, what did I do with my clips? I don't want to make too much noise. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take another band. For now, you can use a C-clip. I don't have one available. And I'm just going to tie this off, just so it does not go anywhere. Okay, so just slip stitch right there. Little slip knot to keep it to where it doesn't come off. All right, so now that I have the sides off, very carefully pull the sides off, I'm going to pull these off also. And I never, ever, ever rip my bands off, ever. I do not want anything breaking, and there's a high chance of it breaking if you just pull them off. I never do, ever. Okay, so it looks like I put these in the right spot. Now, let me bring up that bracelet again. No, give me just a moment. All right, bringing up the bracelet. All right, so I put my beads right in here, and I did do it correctly, which was great. But I'm looking at this, and I don't see, let me bring it over here. Really pretty bracelet, by the way. In the center here, I don't see, Well, I guess there are holes in it. At first I wasn't seeing any, but I kind of see one right here. That those do have holes in them. Okay, so maybe I'm okay. Anyway, I'm going to pull this. Oops, sorry for that. Make sure I am fine. I guess my camera is so close. So I'm giving it a tug, okay? And I'm going to wrap this around my wrist and look at this. It is perfect. And I went down 6 pins. Like I said, normally I would put a clasp on there, but I don't think I need to even bother with that. So what I'm going to do is straighten bands and get some fuzzies out of there. And then I will end up taking pictures and trying to straighten things out because this belongs over here, not there. Straighten out my bands a little bit and straighten my beads. And you can see where I have that bead laying, well, if it's going to lay, there we go, laying right here, where that band that goes up and across between these would be. Let's see if you can see that pretty well. There, it's a little better. Isn't that pretty? It's very pretty. I'll be even prettier once I straighten everything out. All right, so I'm going to go off. I'm going to straighten everything out. And, you know, you can make pretty bracelets, and if they're not, I don't know, I have a thing with the bands being crooked. I think that's because Artisan Loom, Trish, is the one that taught me about it. So I will straighten out as much as I can on here, especially before I take a picture. But you know, you make a beautiful bracelet, and if your bands are crooked, it distracts from your bracelet. I mean, that's how I feel anyway. I mean, you know, some people don't really mind that they're crooked. But like right here, see how that band, that black band, let's get a little bit closer. The bands on this side come out like that, nice and neat, and this one is hidden in here. So all I want to do is go in there and grab it and put it where it belongs. I might not have to do too much straightening, if I can even talk, because these actually all look like they're pretty good. I'm looking at the silks that I have on here and just making sure that that shiny part shows. Okay, the silver is down below a little bit, so I'm not too worried about that. And most of it's going to be covered with these beads anyway. So isn't that pretty? Pretty bracelet. And see, I had stretched it, so chances are it shrunk a little bit on me. And it did, just a little. The only reason that happened was because I pulled it out really good. When I took it off, I stretched it a lot. So I still may be able to get my beautiful little, let me look at that side there. And see on the side here, where you have these like this and they're just kind of hanging out there? You can actually go in and just give them a little nudge, a little tug, because I think, let me take a look at this again. I'm in my phone, there it is. Let's check this out. Yes, I'm looking on the side here, and these are showing a little bit on the side. The white that I have is this Caribbean green that's right there. Okay, so I'm going to go off. I'm going to straighten these a little bit, and then I will be back with pictures. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty, pretty bracelet. Oh my goodness. And I believe it's called Grand Illusion. I'm going to double check that one more time before I say for sure that that's what it is. But yes, it was Grand Illusion. Let me go back over here. And yes, she has it right here. The Grand Illusion is what it is. I left the word out. The Grand Illusion by the Looming Artist. Beautiful bracelet. Very, very pretty. I am Lila's Gigi on Instagram. I also have an account, Lila's Gigi _nails, Nailz with a Z. If you want to see how I do my nails or see any of the ones that are on there, aren't those pretty? They're my red nails. Anyway, you can hop on over there and follow me on that if you'd like. Unless you're a nail account, though I probably won't follow you back on that particular channel. I created 2 of them because once I got into the nails, oh my gosh, I kept getting all of these photos coming through and just beautiful, beautiful pictures. And then I was losing my Loom pictures in between all the nail stuff, so I separated it. Anyway, enough of that. This is The Grand Illusion by the Looming Artist. And if you are not following me on Instagram, please hop on over. It's Lila's Gigi. And if you stumbled across my channel by accident, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you. So like it if you want. Share it if you would like to do that. You can share this tutorial. And as always, be kind.